Hello, my fabulous reading friends. It's Shira. I'm so happy you came to read with me. In this story, we'll meet a little acorn who is looking for a perfect place to grow. Do you think you'll find it? Let's find out as we read The Little Acorn. If you have a copy, go get it and come read with me. The Little Acorn, written by Hannah Rose Brown, illustrated by Anna Villa. In the tall green grass of a big meadow lived a giant old oak tree. Hanging from the limbs of the mighty oak was a tiny little acorn swaying in the wind. Alas, the time had come for him to fall off his tree and roll away to find the perfect place where he would grow. As a rush of wind rustled through the branches, the little acorn descended down from the sky and landed on a soft bed of grass. He was ready and excited for his journey ahead. He rolled along to a grassy green field nearby where the sunlight warmed the air. The little acorn looked around at the heavenly spot and thought to himself, "This place is perfect. I will stay here." But as the day went on, the sun began to beat down on the open field, making it hotter and hotter. The little acorn was far too hot to stay, so he rolled on. Up and down he went, across meadows and fields, hillsides and forests, until he came upon a beautiful valley of flowers. The blossoming wildflowers lit up the horizon in a display of pastel pink, purple, and orange. Their sweet smell permeated the air as the little acorn watched the honeybees buzz around the flowers. He thought to himself, "This place is perfect. I will stay here." But as the day went on, the smell became sweeter and sweeter. Soon, more and more honeybees arrived. Buzzing and buzzing, the bees grew louder and louder. It was far too noisy to stay, so he rolled on. The little acorn rolled harder and faster to propel himself atop a snow-covered mountain. It was perfect, he thought. He sat high above the world and thought to himself, "I will stay here." But as the day fell into night, the little acorn shivered in the freezing cold. Snow fell furiously until it completely covered him. The little acorn was far too cold to stay here. So once again, he rolled on. It wasn't long before the little acorn was thawed out when he rolled down the mountain and right into a sleepy little town with big trees, birds singing, and flowers swaying in the distance. He checked the warm air, and it feels just right. He smelled the flowers, and they were the perfect scent. The little acorn was delighted as he rolled his way in. He thought to himself, "This is surely the place where I will stay. It is perfect." Just as he began to nestle into his new home of choice, the wind began to blow. It blew harder and harder until it picked up the little acorn and blew him right out of town. He blew through the meadows, down the hillsides, and through the woods, past all the places he had been, and right over the snow-covered mountain. Upside down, twirling and whirling in the wind, he finally landed on the ground. The little acorn, looking all around, had never seen a place quite like this. "No, no," he thought to himself, "this is not where I belong. This place is dry, dark, and dirty. There are no flowers, there are no tall trees, and not a single bird to sing a song. I cannot, I will not, and I do not want to stay here. I belong somewhere that is beautiful," he thought. So he tried with all his might to roll himself away, but it was no use. He was stuck between some old burnt brush. The poor little acorn lay there defeated as the sky turned gray and soft raindrops fell onto the black meadow around him. When morning arrived, the little acorn awoke to the feeling of the warm sun. He saw that overnight he had planted himself into the ground. He looked out at the sight of his new home and thought it would never be as beautiful as all the other places it had been. The sunlight warmed the ground as it shined bright over the little acorn. Days, weeks, and years passed. The rain came to the thirsty dark land, quenching its thirst. In time, the once little acorn had grown into a mighty oak tree. Standing tall, he looked out all around him into a beautiful green meadow. The dark meadow that was once burned and covered in ash was now bursting with life. Deep green grass grew wildly under trees for miles, and happy little birds sat atop their branches singing songs. Rays of sunshine peeked through the clouds onto the happy meadow. Pink, purple, and orange flowers swayed in the wind while honeybees hummed softly in the distance. Just then, the mighty oak tree knew he was planted right where he was supposed to be. It was perfect. We may not always end up where we thought we would, but sometimes it's just where we're meant to be. I hope you enjoyed our story today. See you next time!